The next challenge in Act 2 is called IDORable Bistro, kind of hinting the type of challenge that we're facing here. I really enjoyed this one, and it's still a 2 snowflake challenge, so a fairly easy one, but we can learn a lot from that challenge. So let's check it out. All right, so we need to visit Josh at the Sosban Bistro. And if you are outside of the bistro, you can already notice that there's a note over here. I think this is the only challenge where you need to search and find an item, but this is all part of the whole story. So let's enter to this bistro. And we have to talk to Josh Wright, who is apparently sleeping 4 hours a day. I'm not sure how healthy that is, but it's his decision. So the hint for this is going to mention QR codes. So we need to find a receipt lying around with a QR code that might help us to find this strange little gnome who came into the sushi restaurant and ordered frozen sushi. And I think this is probably the only hint for this challenge. Oh no, there's another one. Yeah, and this one mentions the really important aspect of the challenge where there is an ID value, as we'll see it, with the QR code, but that's not the real ID value in this application. And let's see if we have any more hints for this challenge. Yeah, so again, this is about the ID value. You will see how that works actually. And that's it. So we get 3 hints for this challenge. 2 of them are kind of about the same thing. We need to pick up this item here so that we can view the QR code. And this item on our badge is just pointing to a receipt.png. I already have this one, but we can take a quick look at it. So you can see the items purchased, and there's also this QR code. We have tons and tons of websites out there that will allow you to upload our QR code, and here this site is the first one that I found, and I can just drag and drop the receipt and it will extract the information from the QR code, which takes us to the actual website where we need to exploit an IDOR related vulnerability. I have to switch to a different account, but we can already see with the receipt details that there is a receipt number here. This will come up later as we examine the traffic generated by the site. We can actually do that one, I think, here as well on the network side. So we're just going to reload the page quickly. And we are able to, well, if I am not switching to the socket one, but let's see, all messages, we can see messages from the site. It's kind of tough. Let me try to get the, no, this is memory cache. Not a big fan of the interface here. There's going to be probably a lot easier to do this. There we go. With the actual site being browsed in a browser where we have I cannot see it here for some reason. So it's going to be much easier when we have an interception proxy. This one is kind of giving me a hard time. There should be requests where we have the actual ID being passed on. I just cannot see it on this view. So we will switch and have a much more convenient interface compared to this one. I just feel very, very much bothered by this now. I really want to show you, but I cannot see that message being passed on here. Okay, let's close this one. I think it's much harder to observe the traffic this way than having good old burp suit for us doing the interception. So we already have the website here. Just going to steal this and use this other account here to visit the site. And I'm going to do show all, hoping that we are going to be able to actually see something meaningful here. And there's the get request. After visiting the site, it's actually going to generate a get request. Not sure why we were not able to see that one on the developer tool. It should be feasible, but this is way more easier. And you can see that the received ID that we had over here in the response, where is it? You received, oh yeah, it's not here because it's down below here. We have the initial received ID here, and this ID is 103, and in the get request there's also this same ID value being passed on, and we have the same details as on this page. We search down below. We have the JavaScript actually populating the details that we receive. So this is JavaScript code making a request, and then we're getting back in the response the details for this receipt. And in order to do that, it is fetching the receipt ID. So what we can do, there are multiple ways to kind of exploit this. What we can do here is use something like burp suit, and we can use an intruder. We can also use the repeater here to kind of have a good idea on where the receipt starts with the IDs. Probably ID 1 is a good guess initially, but this is not found. So I usually go and then see, okay, what about ID 10? No. ID 100? No. Well, this should be probably 101 if I have 103. And it turns out there is. So this is belonging to Duke Doris, and this is how we can start working on exploiting the IDOR vulnerability. We also need to figure out what is the top ID value. So how about 200? Nope, not found. How about 150? Let's do some binary search here manually. This one is available. How about 175? No, that is not found. How about 160? Not found. How about 55? Not found. Okay, so there's no more than 155. Let's use that one as our top boundary value. There is 150, so somewhere between those two, I think it's 152 or something like that. We have the ID values. All right, so we can go and start from 100, let's say, which will be a not found, and send this to intruder. I'll show you a different way that does not require you to have intruder because it's part of the paid license of Burp. You can still use the free version to do intruder attacks, but it's going to be very, very slow. So we're going to add our target field in intruder, and we would like to do numbers starting from 100 to, I think it was 155. So this will be 56 attempts, and then we can start the attack. The intruder will quickly go and enumerate all the possibilities for us, going down to 155. Now the big question is, because we have variable length, is what are we actually looking for? And we can search for something like, let me just check my notes. I think we were searching for frozen. Yeah. So we can just do a view filter, put the word frozen there, because we know from the scenario description that there was a gnome who was asking for frozen sushi. Look at that. There's only one message here with the response containing the word frozen roll. Instead of increasing the bizarre rolls and demand one be served frozen, the waitress invented frozen roll on the spot. So the name of the customer was Bartholomew Quibble Frost. This is the name of the gnome. I will show an alternative now, how we can use just a curl command to get to the same result. So I'm going to open up an Ubuntu terminal here and wait for my VSL. I always try to say VLS, but it's the Windows subsystem for Linux. So my VSL instance is now up and running. And for this challenge, we can use a simple for loop as a one-liner, basically, where we're going to go with the ID values from 100 to, I have 152 here, but we're going to go 155. And then for each of these, we're going to make the same GET request that we saw earlier. Get the response, and then we are grabbing for the word frozen. Just try to zoom in so it's easier to see. Grabbing for the word frozen, and then if we have a match, then we are printing out the ID value and the response, and we do some formatting with JQ here. Okay, let's hit enter. This should find in a matter of seconds. Everything goes well. The ID that has a match. And we have the same result here. Just finishing up the enumeration. Okay, so let's check if the answer is correct here. We're going to go to the objectives and open the response. And yes, we were correct. And we can talk to Josh afterwards to close down the challenge. Right, that's it. So this was a very nice little challenge. You can solve it multiple ways, but the goal is really to figure out that there is a GET request generated by the site. I couldn't really find it here on developer tools. I was probably just clumsy, but you saw that it's much easier to use something like Zap or Burp to find that request. And then you can use the built-in tools in Zap or Burp Suite, or you can just use something like curl to find the value that you're looking for, in this case, the name of gnome. That's it for this challenge. So let's head on to the next one in the next video.